Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Anubha Rohatgi with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with students, teachers and parents in 6th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha program. Prime Minister advises students to observe digital fasting once a week to minimize distractions. Calls upon parents not to put undue pressure on children for the sake of social status. India issues notice to Pakistan for modification of Indus Waters Treaty. Ace tennis player Sania Mirza bids adieu to Grand Slam career after finishing runners-up in mixed doubles final of Australian Open. And in women's cricket, semifinal of Under-19 T20 World Cup between India and New Zealand underway in South Africa. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with students, parents and teachers during the 6th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha program at the Talkatoora Stadium in New Delhi today. Lakhs of students from around the world participated in the program. At the annual event, Prime Minister Modi shared tips with students to overcome exam stress and answered their questions related to education and career. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister advised students to observe digital fasting or cutting screen time once a week. Expressing concern over the use of gadgets, he encouraged them to create a no-technology zone at home and use the time to interact with each other. He said digital fasting would reconnect students with family members.
कभी कभी तो लगता है कि आप अपने से भी ज्यादा गैजेट्स को ज्यादा स्मार्ट मान लेते हैं और गलती वहीं से शुरू हो जाती है। आप विश्वास करिए, परमात्मा ने आपको बहुत शक्ति दी है। आप स्मार्ट हैं, गैजेट आपसे स्मार्ट नहीं हो सकता है। आपकी जितनी स्मार्टनेस ज्यादा होगी, उतना गैजेट का सही उपयोग आप कर पाएंगे। वो एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो आपकी गति में नई तेजी लाता है।
Mr. Modi asked students not to underestimate their capabilities. He also used a cricket analogy to highlight the importance of focus. He guided students on how to distinguish between hard work and smart work by citing the Thirsty Crow story.
आप कभी क्रिकेट मैच देखने गए होंगे तो आपने देखा होगा कि कुछ बैट्समैन खेलने के लिए आते हैं और पूरा स्टेडियम, हजारों लोग होते हैं स्टेडियम में, जो चिल्लाना शुरू करते हैं, चौका 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 छक्का छक्का सिक्सर। क्या वो ऑडियंस की डिमांड के ऊपर चौके और छक्के लगाता है क्या? ऐसा करता है क्या कोई प्लेयर? चिल्लाते रहे, कितना ही चिल्लाते रहे, उसका ध्यान उस बॉल पर ही होता है जो आ रहा है। उस बॉलर के माइंड को स्टडी करने की कोशिश करता है और जैसा बॉल है वैसे ही खेलता है, न कि ऑडियंस चिल्लाता है। फोकस रहता है।
The Prime Minister said time management is important not only for examinations but also in their daily life. He asked students to observe their mothers and learn how to manage time.
परीक्षा के लिए नहीं, वैसे भी जीवन में टाइम मैनेजमेंट के प्रति हमें जागरूक रहना चाहिए। परीक्षा और नो परीक्षा। आपने देखा होगा काम का ढेर क्यों हो जाता है? काम का ढेर इसलिए हो जाता है समय पर उसको किया नहीं इसलिए। और काम करने की कभी थकान नहीं होती है, काम करने से संतोष होता है। काम न करने से थकान लगती है, सामने दिखता है अरे इतना सारा काम, और उसी की थकान लगती है। करना शुरू करें। दूसरा, आप कभी कागज पे अपना पेन पेंसिल लेके डायरी पे लिखिए, एक हफ्ते भर आप नोट कीजिए कि आप अपना समय कहाँ बिताते हैं।
Talking about cheating during exams, the Prime Minister said some students use their creativity for cheating in examinations, but if those students use their time and creativity in a good way, they will achieve heights of success. He said they should never opt for shortcuts in life and focus on themselves.
अब जिंदगी बहुत बदल चुकी है, जगत बहुत बदल चुका है और इसलिए ये बहुत आवश्यक है कि एक एग्जाम से निकले मतलब जिंदगी निकल गई, ये संभव नहीं है जी। आज आपको डगर डगर हर जगह पे कोई इनको एग्जाम देनी पड़ती है। कितनी जगह पे नकल करोगे जी? और इसलिए जो नकल करने वाला है वो शायद एक आध दो एग्जाम को तो निकल जाएगा, लेकिन जिंदगी कभी पार नहीं कर पाएगा। नकल से जिंदगी नहीं बन सकती है। हो सकता है एग्जाम में मार्क्स इधर उधर करके ले आए, लेकिन कहीं न कहीं तो क्वेश्चनेबल होगा ही। और इसलिए ये वातावरण हमको बनाना होगा कि एक आध एग्जाम में तुमने नकल की, हो गया तुम निकल गए, लेकिन आगे चल करके शायद तुम जिंदगी में फंसे रहोगे।
While answering several queries of students, Mr. Modi said criticism is important as it helps to enhance and give shape to the future. He said if someone is hardworking and honest, then they should not care about criticisms. He asked the students to learn multiple languages as it opens new doors of opportunities for them to understand century-old cultures, civilizations and experiences. The Prime Minister called upon parents not to put undue pressure on children over marks. He said it is very natural for family members to have a lot of expectations from their children, but if the family members are having these expectations due to social status, then it is a matter of concern.
अगर परिवार के लोगों के आपके से बहुत अपेक्षाएं होना बहुत स्वाभाविक है और उसमें कुछ गलत भी नहीं है, लेकिन अगर परिवार के लोग अपेक्षाएं सोशल स्टेटस के कारण कर रहे हैं तो वो चिंता का विषय है। उनका सोशल स्टेटस का उन पर इतना दबाव होता है, उनके मन पे इतना प्रभाव होता है कि उनको लगता है कि जब सोसाइटी में जाएंगे तो बच्चों के लिए क्या बताएंगे। समाज जीवन में ये सहज प्रवृत्ति बनी हुई है।
The Prime Minister also asked parents not to keep children confined to the house and allow them to do activities they want. Giving the teaching mantra to teachers, the Prime Minister asked the teachers to develop a strong bond with their students. He said if a student is asking questions, it means he or she is curious, and teachers should always try to promote their curiosity. Earlier, the Prime Minister interacted with students at an exhibition during the Pariksha Pe Charcha program. Speaking at the event, Education Minister Narendra Modi said Pariksha Pe Charcha has become a mass movement. He said the National Education Policy and the Exam Warrior are preparing students for the 21st century. Talking to AIR News, the participating students shared their experiences about the Pariksha Pe Charcha program.
I am Sania Mirza. I study in Navy Children's School, New Delhi, and today's experience was very nice. I liked it very much. The main takeaways from this event was how PM Modi talked about time management pressures from where you live, from the society. So about time management, it comes very handy in life, and all the bright students plus students who are average, they all need it in life.
मेरा नाम खेमलता है, मैं कक्षा 10वीं की छात्रा हूँ। मैं यहाँ पे परीक्षा पे चर्चा श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के द्वारा आयोजित करे गए इसमें आई। मुझे बहुत खुशी मिली कि मैं मोदी जी से मिली, और मैं भी एग्जाम्स को लेकर हमेशा टेंशन में रहती थी और यहाँ पे रहकर उसका समाधान मिला।
नाम छवि है और मैं 12th क्लास की स्टूडेंट हूँ, और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि मुझे यहाँ पर आने का मौका मिला। मैं एग्जाम्स को लेकर हमेशा बहुत स्ट्रेस में रहती हूँ कि मेरे एग्जाम्स कैसे जाएंगे। बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं उस टाइम पर मेरे मन में, लेकिन आज मैं बहुत बहुत लकी फील कर रही हूँ कि मुझे यहाँ पे आने का मौका मिला और ये सेशन अटेंड किया।
The 30th National Child Science Congress began at Ahmedabad in Gujarat this morning. Secretary of Gujarat Science and Technology Department Vijay Nahera inaugurated the Congress. The 5-day event, which is being organized at Science City, will conclude on 31st January. Nearly 850 students from across the country will present their projects at the Congress. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. India has issued notice to Pakistan for modification of the Indus Waters Treaty. According to sources, the notice was conveyed on 25th of this month through respective commissioners for Indus Waters. India has called on Pakistan to enter into intergovernmental negotiations within 90 days to rectify the material breach of treaty. Sources said Pakistan's actions have adversely impinged on the provisions and their implementation. It forced India to issue an appropriate notice to Pakistan for modification of the Indus Waters Treaty. Sources added, India has always been a steadfast supporter and a responsible partner in implementing the treaty in letter and spirit. Despite repeated efforts by India to find a mutually agreeable way forward, Pakistan refused the dispute settlement mechanism during the 5 meetings of the Permanent Indus Commission from 2017 to 2022. The G20 Startup 20 Engagement Group will hold its first inception meeting in Hyderabad tomorrow. Delegates from G20 member nations and 9 special invitees from observer countries Representatives from multilateral organizations, besides the Indian startup ecosystem, will attend the meeting. The two-day meeting is expected to initiate on developing policy recommendations on entrepreneurship and innovation priorities of G20 countries during the coming years. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Festival will begin in Mumbai this evening with the world premiere of Tamil film Apatta. The film is directed by Padma awardee and National Award-winning filmmaker Priyadarshan. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur and Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture Meenakshi Lekhi will grace the opening ceremony. Renowned actor Hema Malini and director Priyadarshan will also be present on the occasion. A total of 57 films from SCO countries will be showcased during the 5-day event. While 14 feature films will be screened in the competition section, the non-competition section will showcase 43 films. The SCO Film Festival is being organized to mark India's presidency at SCO. Aadhaar e-KYC transactions have jumped 18.53% to 84.8 crore between October to December last year. The Electronics and Information Technology Ministry said in the last month alone, 32.49 crore e-KYC transactions were carried out using Aadhaar, which was over 13% more in comparison to November 2022. By the end of December 2022, the cumulative number of Aadhaar e-KYC transactions had gone up to more than 1,382 crore. The ministry said Aadhaar authentication transactions are also witnessing a growing adoption and usage among residents. On to sports now. In the Australian Open tennis, the Brazilian duo of Luisa Stefani and Rafael Matos have won the mixed doubles title. They defeated the Indian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza 7-6, 6-2 at the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne Park this morning. With this, Sania Mirza bid adieu to her glorious Grand Slam career as the 36-year-old is set to retire from the sport after next month's Dubai Masters. She finished her illustrious career with 3 mixed doubles Grand Slam titles and 3 women's doubles championships. She won the women's doubles of Australian Open with Martina Hingis in 2016 and clinched the mixed doubles trophy of the Australian Open with Mahesh Bhupathi in 2009. An emotional Sania during the presentation ceremony after the end of the match said she started her professional career in Melbourne and she could not think of a better arena to finish her Grand Slam career. Meanwhile, in men's singles final, third-seeded Stefano Tsitsipas cruised into the finals after overpowering 18th seed Karen Khachanov 7-6, 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 in the last 4 encounter today. In the other semi-final, 4th seed Novak Djokovic will take on unseeded Tommy Paul of the United States. Serbian Djokovic is seeking a record-extending 10th Australian Open and a 22nd Grand Slam crown. In the women's singles, 22nd seed Elena Rybakina and 5th seed Ariana Sabalenka will face off in the summit clash tomorrow. In women's cricket, the semi-final match of the Under-19 T20 World Cup between India and New Zealand is underway at Potchefstroom in South Africa. Put into bat, Kiwis were 55 for 3 in 8.4 overs when reports last came in. Earlier, India won the toss and opted to bat. England will take on Australia in the second semi-final this evening. The match will start at 5:15 p.m. Indian time. In men's cricket, the first T20 international of the 3-match series between India and New Zealand will be played at the JSCA International Stadium complex in Ranchi today. The match will begin at 7 p.m. In badminton, India's campaign in the singles competition of Indonesia Masters ended today after Lakshya Sen went down to 4th seed Jonathan Christie in Jakarta. The Indian women's doubles duo of Tanisha Crasto and Ashwani Ponnappa will be in the fray today as they play the Japanese duo of Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota in a last 8 match. In the FIH Hockey World Cup, 2 semi-final matches will be played at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar today. Australia will take on Germany in the first semi-finals at 4:30 p.m. Indian time, while Belgium will meet the Netherlands in the other match at 7 p.m. The summit clash will take place on Sunday. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with students, teachers and parents in 6th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha program. Prime Minister advises students to observe digital fasting once a week to minimize distractions, calls upon parents not to put undue pressure on children for the sake of social status. India issues notice to Pakistan for modification of Indus Waters Treaty. Ace tennis player Sania Mirza bids adieu to Grand Slam career after finishing runners-up in the mixed doubles final of Australian Open. And in women's cricket, semi-final of Under-19 T20 World Cup between India and New Zealand underway in South Africa. And with that, we end the Midday News.